Hey trainers, it's a Monday in early January and I wanted to film this video for you because I bet January isn't starting out as busy as you thought it would be. And I've got even worse news. You're probably actually already experiencing it. If not, you soon will, but I can almost guarantee you already are, is that January is also a high attrition month. With all these New Year's resolutions, like how can people be quitting? Here's the thing, January is probably the second highest attrition month, only higher to the end of June and July. This cycle repeats every year. When it occurs, how long it lasts, and how much you feel it are dependent upon so many external factors. But I can promise you, every year the pattern will kind of be the same. So why are people quitting in January? Why are you getting cancellations more now than at almost any other time of year during this peak resolution state? Well, people had time off at Christmas. They had increased spending. They had to wait longer for paychecks, especially right now. You have people receiving smaller paychecks until the next pay period cycles through. So there's all this fear, this financial fear. People are more price sensitive than they are at any other time of year. Compound that by this clean slate New Year's resolution. And as much as we as trainers, coaches all know how ridiculous this notion of New Year's resolutions is, I mean, statistically 92% will have failed in about 14 more days. That pattern repeats itself every year. But I don't know about you, but if you're being honest with yourself, when the clock struck midnight on January 1, probably even you had a calming sigh of relief that the last year is now behind me. It is a blank and clean slate going forward for me to accomplish new things. What are my goals? How will this year be better than the last? It doesn't matter if you buy into New Year's resolutions. I certainly don't. I know that any day of the year can be the start of a New Year's resolution, and it's a matter of changing state and changing pattern as you move forward. But it's just ingrained in our psychology that on January 1st, there's this blank slate mentality, which is the second biggest problem for us from an attrition standpoint, because people are hyper motivated in a way that they won't be at any other time of year. People actually believe that they can massively change their habits and commit to entirely new things only to burn themselves out psychologically, emotionally, physiologically, which is in part, as we know, why New Year's resolutions fail. But we can't convince people of that, right? Because motivation is an emotional state, and when we are emotionally driven, we're no longer objective about what actually happens until we get into the latter part of January. This is why the cycle will occur every year. You'll see more attrition now. You won't be quite as busy off the hop as you will be towards the end of January and the beginning of February, especially personal trainers and small studio owners. What happens to us every year in the first part of February? We get crazy busy. And why do we get crazy busy? Because people are coming to us desperate now, looking for answers, and they will do whatever it takes to get those answers because that motivation didn't deliver the benefit that it was supposed to. Ultimately, they didn't accomplish that goal, and they're now ever more frustrated than they ever were before. Even worse, there's those people that do nothing, right? That gain all that weight, that continue to feel poorly about themselves and continue to deteriorate as a result of this poor and very negative psychological experience associated with New Year's resolutions. That's why this is such an important time for us. So as the business coach, I just want to share with you a couple of things to consider. Because of people's high price sensitivity and artificial motivation, in the early part of January, people really seek out big box, inexpensive type programs. What can they do to get the tools they need for the least amount of cost? And let's be honest, everything you need to learn about fitness and weight loss these days is available on the internet for free, right? So people seek out that lowest cost option, which is why we face so many objections at the end of January that, well, I'd love to take you up on your service, but I don't want to pay for 2 memberships and I'm stuck in this gym contract, right? Because they made that decision in early January to commit to the big box gym for a long period of time. So in the early part of January, this is why I always tell trainers, it's counterintuitive. Your marketing, you want to put your best and most aggressive offer out there. You want to find a way to offer at least a small trial of your service that will be price competitive with the big box gyms, because people know that your service is better, right? But they don't want to pay for it. But ingrained in that psychology is also that, gee, if I had a coach, if I had your support, if I had that accountability of the community just for a short period of time, I could develop the habits that would last a lifetime. And again, as you and I know, habits are wonderful things, but habits actually come from surrounding yourself with like minds and in a community or an environment that is conducive to you achieving the goal that you want, which is why these people need to stay with us long term. But initially, we need to match their message and their psychology of understanding why a price competitive with the big box gym offer will actually at least get them through your door, so you have the opportunity to educate them and start that relationship. Challenges, of course, everybody runs challenges in January, but so many times I actually see trainers stressed out and frustrated because they try to push off their challenge too soon. There's nothing wrong with having an early January challenge, but I can tell you that you're missing a massive opportunity if you don't also offer a late January, early February start to your challenges. Because again, because people are price sensitive, and challenges with the level of service that we provide are typically a more expensive item, and because they're hyper motivated, they don't necessarily think that they need that environment, right? But at the end of January and the early parts of February, it's a whole different ball game. They are willing to pay more. They're willing to invest more in themselves because of that frustration. And it only makes sense. You and I as consumers, we do the same things. So if you're doing challenges, and you should definitely be looking at launching a challenge at the end of January and the early or middle part of February as a possible second start, as an opportunity to capture the most people, which is going to set you up for some of the best testimonials and best time to gather new social proof of this entire year. How important is this first quarter of the year? You can generate as much as 35% of your annual revenue between January 1st and March 31st in this first quarter. And I know that to be a fact from my businesses and all the people I've coached through the years. So guys, January is a high attrition month. Accept that, understand how to position your lead generation so you can capture leads now and truly help as many as people possible become the best versions of themselves. Hey, thanks for tuning in today. I'm Cable McElderry. If you're a personal trainer, fitness professional, I hope you found this helpful. I'd love to read your comments. I'd love to get your messages. If I can help you grow your fitness business, visit me online at cablemcElderry.com or send me a message. I'd love to talk to you about your business.